Lean Culture, Chapter 1. The DNA of Toyota lies in its culture. Just yesterday, I spent a whole day with 30 of our young executives. At least 50% of them were from outside Japan. They had broken up into teams to tackle different problems, and they made presentations based on what they had learned about using the Toyota way to tackle them. When I asked, many of them said they were now able to understand the Toyota way fully. That's totally wrong. 2 or 3 months isn't a long enough period for anyone to understand the Toyota way. The managers may have understood what's on the surface, but what lies beneath is far greater. I asked them to explore that. There's no end to the process of learning about the Toyota way. I don't think I have a complete understanding even today, and I have worked for the company for 43 years. Katsuaki Watanabe, President, Toyota Motor Corporation. Why are Lean and Six Sigma programs not enough? Companies throughout the world are trying to find a way to get their employees engaged in improving processes. Some have used Six Sigma as a program to develop experts in statistical problem solving, while others have concluded they need to lean out processes from the bottom up using simpler concepts of pull and flow, and invested in lean programs. A more recent trend is using a Lean Six Sigma program, which is seen as the best of both worlds. Lean tools are taught at the working level because they are simpler to understand and lead to quick wins, while Six Sigma black belts lead complex, more involved, several-month-long projects to drive the bigger dollar savings. These programs certainly are effective in driving down costs, and many companies tally up the cost savings to impress investors with the large numbers. Unfortunately, there is usually something missing in these Lean Six Sigma efforts. Ask someone deeply trained in the Toyota Production System, TPS, to visit those lean operations, and they are likely to give them low ratings. The TPS expert will not look at the charts and graphs of the Six Sigma projects or the impressive cost savings. They will go right to the Gemba, where the work is done, and walk the process. They will look for interruptions in flow, waste. They will observe people doing the work to see if they are following a repeatable standard process. They will also look for evidence of quality problems such as repair bays. If they see material flowing smoothly through the plant from start to finish in a steady cadence, and people actively engaged in doing value-added work based on a defined pace, called takt time, they will be very impressed. They will be even more impressed if there is evidence of visual management showing at a glance the state of the operation and whether processes are in standard. However, the most impressive thing will be seeing evidence of people on the floor actively engaged in daily problem solving. Unfortunately, we rarely see much evidence of any of these things. The charts and graphs look great in the conference room presentations, but the reality of the shop floor is far from the TPS ideal. From the time Toyota first started its operation, the leaders believed that the key to success was investment in its people. The Toyota culture has evolved since the company's founding and is the core competence of the company. It is the reason why operations are lean, cars hit the market on time and on budget, chief engineers developing cars deeply understand the customer, company executives anticipate long-term trends and have clear strategies, and every employee, called team members, is vigorously working on achieving the annual plan of the company. The Toyota way is first and foremost about culture. The way people think and behave is deeply rooted in the company philosophy and its principles. At the core, it is about respect for people and continuous improvement, and this has not changed since the company's founding. Almost every company president talks about culture and asserts that people are their most important resource. But do they believe it? Given the opportunity to go from paying $25 per hour to $1 per hour in a low-wage country, how many company executives would consider re-establishing their companies in unfamiliar but more economically friendly terrain? After the standard hiring process and an employee training program, the company would be in business in their new locale. But would this be enough to imprint their company's existing culture on the new hires? Would management even know exactly what company culture they were trying to imprint? When Toyota sets up shop in a new country, they carefully study the local community and determine how best to develop the Toyota culture in that environment. From past experience, they have learned that it requires both time and patience. It took about 15 years at Toyota Motor Manufacturing in Georgetown, Kentucky, the first wholly owned Toyota assembly plant in the US, referred to throughout this book as TMMK. Even though Toyota prides itself on being a learning organization and has shortened the time it takes to build its culture elsewhere, it still takes years to develop. Many companies have become frustrated with Kaizen events and Six Sigma projects that yielded great short-term results but had no sustainability. They are searching for something more, and we believe the missing element that creates long-term results is the Toyota culture. And while Toyota's vision of its culture varies from country to country, or even from community to community, there is an important core set of principles and practices at work that any company can learn from. This book describes and examines the DNA of the Toyota culture.